And similar to Darren, Connie Faust had a concern about water rights. Connie noted, "We are concerned about the water supply in the future to the residents of Mesquite," and she makes a point to reference what happened in Tombstone, Arizona. And similarly, I'm guessing Bill is Connie's husband. Bill Faust says that he too is concerned about the water access for the city of Mesquite in the event of the need to repair or drill new wells.
So there's a provision in the bill that specifically speaks to the water district and the right of way and the existing water facilities and access to those facilities for maintenance, repair, construction. Those are provisions that were necessary as part of maintaining the role that the water district has. Do you have a question on that?
Yeah, I wanted to address that. My name is Lindsay Daly, I'm Harvest Conservation. I also got another hat on. I'm on the Waph Valley Water District Board here, a selected position. And we have grappled with these issues very dramatically. And we met with the Horse Valley Water District when the other version of this bill was being floated. And the problem, the fundamental problem that makes this bill fundamentally flawed when addressing water is not writing in a small paragraph that says, any existing water right-of-ways we maintain. The problem is you don't know where the water is and you don't know how the right-of-way needs to be formed. And if you designate that wilderness, it's done. It's over. As the water district, we tried to get a simple test well drilled. It was like a small little right-of-way easement that would go away. It wasn't a wilderness area. It was up here in the Mineral Valley Wash, and we could never do it. It wouldn't happen, and we finally gave up. So if this legislation goes through with that wilderness area, Mesquite is toast. So whatever water they have now, it's
would
over.
it help if we mirrored similar provision on a water study like we're proposed to do on the energy, so that
what would help, you don't, I mean, there's a lot of hydrologists and a lot of smart people that think they know where water is, and the water district spends hundreds of thousands of dollars to find dry holes. I'm sure Mesquite has had the same issue. So you don't know where that water is for sure. The only way to correct that is to allow water drilling and access and any right-of-way issues through wilderness area. I don't know how that's going to happen, but that's one of the fundamental problems of all this wilderness designation is there is no flexibility administratively. There's plenty of protection in current BLM or federal designations to preserve it. Wilderness adds unnecessary levels of protection that hurt the communities. And we could go on and on about that. But that you haven't really addressed that issue. You've talked up here at this high level of abstraction, does not get down and address the community concerns. You just kind of dabble around the outside.
The Fish and Wildlife has stopped you from drilling?
It's basically, it's a BLM issue, and I'm not trying to hammer these guys have nothing to do with it here. It's a designation, and they got to decide where they want to. It's really not an issue now.
It's yes or no?
No.
so on the same issue on water.
On that, part of the Virgin Valley Water District issue is that those are undeveloped rights, so there's no facilities there now. So if you tie it down just to existing facilities, you're going to close off water rights. Specifically, one is in Nickel Creek, it's undeveloped.
Exactly. That's
Okay, we're going to find this section and just see what is in the actual language.
I've read it, and
Okay. But we're looking for your suggestion on how to make it better. Again,
you're going to come up with a dry hole on it.
You got to go to water rights, just not facilities.
okay. Thank you.
And just
On water,
Back to Overton Beach. I don't know if anybody realizes how much Overton Beach is affected in Waph Valley. It's closed. I mean, I own a business in the town. I mean, if we have any business people, if you ask them to stand up, it's affected their business dramatically. With that closing, it has affected our businesses drastically. And it is really important to us to get Overton Beach open if we could. I don't. There's been water level there. We've flown it over with guys just fly over it all the time. The water's there. They just don't want to open it.
this process will allow for that issue to be.
Well, maybe you can look at that even out of this issue and see what we can do about Awaken Beach, because I'm telling you, it's a serious issue from Wi-Fi. Have people stand up that it's affected them.
But no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna just
I mean,
take that, so I'm gonna take,
There's not a business in this valley that has not been affected in some way, shape.
It's not
I
just
can't
business,
say more
it's
than that. I
people.
turned blue in the face talking about this. It's been huge, and it started when Overton Beach closed, and it's just gotten worse. I just was telling somebody, the thing that bothers me on this is, we finally are getting, like some ATV travel and some things happening because of the beach being closed, other ATVs are coming out, we have Loganville Trails, and people coming from Goldview, going up to Goldview, people coming from Mesquite, riding camp. And now, to look at that area being closed is like, okay, never mind. You know, we thought we might have a solution starting.
yeah, one thing I do wanna though raise on this point, we have to figure out the right answer to this. I'm not saying this is necessarily it, but if we do nothing, federal agencies will continue to dictate, rules will continue to be issued. You know, they can come in and make decisions without your input. And so that's the problem. You're highlighting the very concern that I feel is the underlying issue, which is local communities don't have enough say in public land issues that affect our community. And sometimes we think the answer is to do nothing, but by doing nothing, some of these agencies resort to the fact that there's no direction given to them. And as your representative, as your advocate, as the person whose job it is to represent, you know, your community in Congress, I'm suggesting that it's better for you to come up with the method that does give them the right direction than to leave them to their own devices, because you may not like that result either, right? And so that's why we have to figure out that balance in this legislation.